Minority Advocacy Council.
Good Friday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Mostly sunny today. Temperatures will range from 85 to 92. A northeast wind 5 to 10. It'll be near 70 tonight. Mostly clear, very light winds. Saturday and Sunday, a nice summer weekend. Fall doesn't arrive until Saturday, September 22nd. So mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday. Highs over the weekend, 85 to 92. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Hurricane Florence has made landfall on the US East Coast with warnings it could cause many fatalities. A teenager's been killed and several people hospitalized after a series of gas explosions in North Boston. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban says his government will decide soon how it'll legally fight a landmark European Parliament vote to censure it. And prison staff around the UK are on strike over what they describe as unprecedented levels of violence in jails.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my guest today, my first guest today is Mrs. Amanda Dunavant. Today we are interviewing more candidates for the City Council positions. Today we're interviewing for Ward 4, Position 1. So good morning to you, Miss Amanda.
Good morning, Q. How are you today?
I am great. So please give everybody a little introduction about yourself and tell them why you decided to run for this position.
Okay. Like you said, my name is Amanda Michelle Dunavant. I live at 523 West Thomas Avenue here in Jonesboro, right behind Jonesboro High School. I've lived here all my life. I was born and raised. I've got 3 beautiful children. My husband is Hunter Dunavant. We've been together for almost 8 years now. And a little bit about me. I attended Jonesboro High School. I graduated with the class of 2005. I have attended Arkansas State University. I attended and studied business, nursing, logistics. I've also attended ASU Newport. And I obtained a certificate of proficiency in commercial truck driving. Now, they don't have associates department for that. All you can do is get a certificate for that. And last time I spoke with y'all, I was employed by Razorback, and I'm currently not employed with them right now. I actually took layoff. I know I've received a lot of questions about why would you want to do that? Why did you choose yourself? But, you know, I saved a single mother of 3, and a lady who was so close to retirement, there wasn't, my house is paid for, my cars are paid for, so why not give back when the good Lord's been good to me? And with that time, I, instead of working 12, 14 hours a day, I now do a lot of volunteer work. Okay. I also help my grandmother manage our trailer park that we've owned since 1968. But that's pretty much all I do is I do volunteer work throughout the city. Matter of fact, I've actually helped on 9/11. We went out to Marshall Street and picked a bunch of trash up, in honor of 9/11. And the reason why I'm running is because, with all my volunteer work, I talk to people all the time. I have been asked by several people and some of my supporters to run for city council. Okay. And that's one reason. 2 is I would like to serve a greater role. Okay. And instead of relaying messages back and forth, to the council members, why don't I represent the people that the people's asking me to represent? Okay. So that's the reason why I'm running.
All right, thank you for that. I want to say good morning to Dr. Lily Fears, and she says hello.
Hello.
And thanks for your service.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to get into a few topics that I'm sure everyone has been asked, and you will be continuing to be asked. Let's talk about the quality of life. Since you say you are out and about in the community and you get to actually talk to people face to face and hear their concerns, what are some things that you have noticed, and what are some of the feedback you have gotten concerning the quality of life, and how do you propose, if you are elected, to try to help fix those things?
Okay. One of the biggest is sidewalks. The next biggest is the jet system. Let's see here. The jets, bicycle and walking trails, bike lanes. And another biggie is what we would call an NJ&I pop-up park. A lot of our community, a lot of our citizens around Jonesboro, particularly on the north side of town, is looking for some more. Even if we put a basketball goal court up, that's still an activity that children, that will help with the crime also, because it actually helps with the kids having something to do in the neighborhood. The feedbacks on the sidewalk, it's about 50% on both sides. We have for and against. Now, I'm all for the sidewalks, but they have to be maintained, and they have to be able to connect to something. I'm all a big fan of the sidewalks around the schools, because, if you live around a school, you cannot ride the bus, so therefore we have children walking in the streets. Let's see here.
What about making certain areas a little more ADA accessible,
Yes.
or meeting the ADA regulations? I've heard feedback from people saying that some of the jet stops are
not handicap accessible,
yes,
for one.
and then there's just other areas around town. I know that it is costly to fix pre-existing structures. However, there are just some areas that all of the residents of Jonesboro cannot access because it is not suitable.
Right, and that also extends to our jet system too, where they're only open Monday through Friday,
Saturday now,
and a few hours on Saturday. Disabled people, they have family too. I can understand not running the buses, but the transit system for people with disability, they want to go to Walmart 2:00 in the morning if they're sick and need something. How else are they going to get their cold medicine or whatever? If they have family, that goes in the emergency room, now they're sitting at home worrying about their family because they can't call somebody to come pick them up to take them to the hospital, check on their family.
Now, for those that may not know, most of the money that funds the jet system is federal money.
Yes.
So, who's in charge of maybe presenting a proposal for more money, for more services, and what role does the city council play?
Well, see, that would be Mr. Black.
Okay.
The gentleman who's over the Jets department within the city. And if I was elected council, I would actually help with the grant writing and actually trying to help look at grants and any way to fund this, because not a lot of people know, but even a disability, you may not be able to see that disability. Okay. And that's one of those things. We need to make it to where we are ADA certified and compliant, and start thinking about other people who can't get around town. One, if they can get around town, they're going to spend their money just like everybody else does. Instead of sending somebody else to the store, they can actually do that for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Miss Amanda Dunavant, who is the candidate for City Council Ward 4, Position 1. Dr. Lily Fair says we need sidewalks, yes. And she also says, do we have any kind of city taxi service? Unfortunately, not at this time.
But we do have Uber.
Oh, okay.
We have Uber here in town, and I know a few of them, but I'm not going to give them a shout out because that's
okay.
one of those gray areas that me and you know about that we ain't going to go off in.
we're non-commercial, so we're not promoting Uber. So
yeah, but that's our city.
So there are other options.
Yes.
They're just not funded or linked to the city.
And some of those drivers ain't approved or don't have access to disability.
Okay.
Paratransit, they're just driving around in a regular vehicle, most of them.
Okay.
So,
all right, so let's move on to some other topics that are of very high importance to individuals. Let's talk about affordable housing. We notice that there are a lot of developments happening in and around town. Some of them are not as affordable as they used to be. We understand that investors want and need to make money off of their property, but what role can the city council play to encourage these investors to not change the dynamics of a neighborhood that they're developing in?
well, one we can watch on our impact fees, our stormwater fees, or building permits. Now, I know this is where the city gets some of their money. I understand that. But we can also go a step farther and talk to these developers. And what I mean by sitting down and having a conversation, we have $100,000 homes, $200,000 homes. Hardly ever do you get, just look on the internet and look for a starter home or a house of like the size of mine. I have like a 1,400 square foot house, but there's hardly any. Most of them are humongous that they're building, and they're, in my opinion, to most people, without reach.
Okay.
And we need to sit down with the developers and talk about building more or refurbish, some of these condemned homes. Now, the land bank's going to help with that, but we in Jonesboro Habitat for Humanity does a lot of that. But we need to sit down with these developers and talk to them and see if we can get some affordable starter homes so people can actually... Now, I am a landlord and I have been a tenant, but we need to step back from that just a little bit, because people... I'm sorry, I've got sinus problems.
Okay.
The people need to be able to buy their own home, be able to purchase their own home.
Okay.
And with affordable housing and not having homes, starter homes in the available market, that we are cutting ourselves, we could actually, people can be paying property taxes to the county and to the city,
Okay.
And that's just one of my big things is I want to be able to. I've rented in the one that next to having children and getting married. My happiest day is when I finally signed the title to my house to myself.
Okay.
So I would like to be able to do that for somebody else. Affordable housing, with the renting. Now, I can understand that. The house across the street from my house rents at $1,400 a month. Now, you're looking at a median income here where it takes two people to live, and they don't even make $50,000, but yet the rent's $1,400 a month. Me, I keep my rent low. People laugh at me because of how low our rent is, but our people are happy. They still have money in their pocket, and their bills get paid. So.
All right. So that's just a conversation that's going to be ongoing between developers and the city, and the people in the different departments that make decisions. Mm-hmm. All right, we have another Facebook comment. I want to say good morning, though, to Mr. Cade Holliday.
Morning, Cade.
Mrs. Maddie Warren and Miss Marsha Phillips. Dr. Lily Fear says, I'd love to know... Okay, one more question before that. Okay, she says, what are your thoughts on after-school programs for underserved communities? Do we need more?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Now, I have volunteered a lot at Parker Park. It does not take... I understand a busy life. I got 3 kids, running for office, business, trying to start another business. But we need these services for our children, especially the underprivileged children, because they have to have something to do. Children will be children, and they have got to have something to occupy their mind. Plus, this also brings together, community and the learning new experiences. We could start an after-school program teaching them life skills. I mean, I know City Youth does a lot of those kinds of services, but they need to be scattered out throughout town. Or if we can find a grant or a volunteer, to be able to want to do this, but we need to do it. Okay. That's the thing. We have got to be able to show these children how to live in life, and teach them networking, teach them how to, that they're loved, because if they do not have something to do, they're going to get in trouble. That's just children.
Okay. So this could potentially reduce the crime rate if
Right.
we find other avenues for these young people to redirect their energy.
Right. And that also gives them a really good first hand at a mentor, somebody to look towards, and somebody else to talk to besides the parent that could also refer back to the parent that something's going on.
Okay.
So there's all good there, in my opinion.
Okay. We have another question from Dr. Fear. She says, I love to do more house renovations and sell at affordable prices. Okay, so I'm with you on that. So
Yes.
Instead of bringing more new developments, look at what's already
Yes.
in place and try to redevelop those.
I am a history nut. For those who don't know, I used to live at 716 West Washington, which was Jillian James's house.
Okay.
And I actually started renovating that house at 20 years old. So I'm totally into that. If we can save it, because it's withstood this long, it can withstand a whole lot longer.
All right. So let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about, most people may or may not know that city council persons are voted on citywide. Even though you represent a particular ward, you still also make decisions that affect the city as a whole. So let's talk about the two aspects. How do you plan on working with other individuals on the city council to make the best decisions possible? And two, how do you hope to gain more engagement with the members of the ward that you represent?
Well, two good questions. That's awesome. I would speak to them. I would also speak to department heads. Matter of fact, I'm already doing this, relaying information, talking to the council members. I would not have no problem, even if it's a sticky situation, I guess you could say, sit down and just talk it out. And if it's for the greater good of the community, that's what we need to do. I mean, if our citizens is asking us to do this, that's what our job's for as a city councilman, is to represent the people, bring forth their voices. With the citizens, residents in my ward, I go to all our city parks. I go to our grocery stores. I've actually been seen going door to door asking people their opinion. I know sometimes you're like, oh my God, the door's knocking. But I don't take very long. How are you doing? Got a couple questions, real short and to the point. And I catch a lot of people at the grocery store, believe it or not. They'll see me and they'll stop me and, Amanda, we need to be focused on this. Okay, I'll take care of it. And I would like to do a little bit more of that.
Okay. Would you consider hosting possibly town hall meetings or
Yes.
Community engagement
Yes.
events?
I really do like, shout out to David McLean's Coffee with the Candidate or Coffee with the Councilman. Mm-hmm. I love that idea because he's so hands-on, and that's exactly how I would be.
Okay.
I'm a real hands-on. I do town hall meetings. I was actually considering doing an event. I'm looking to schedule, trying to find a place for Coffee with the Candidate.
Okay.
So, I also do YouTube and Facebook Live and all that other social media that I can do. I also give people my phone number out. If you have any problems, you can call me. My number is 870-761-1749. If you want to call me and say what's up, just call me. I'm a very open person. I have lived a public life all my life. When you have 30 lots and times 4, because, most of the time that's 120 people. And we are very open with our tenants on our life. So, I'm not a very shut-off person. You can actually touch me, hug me, ask me any kind of question. You may not like the answer, but I will, sit and talk to you. I don't have a problem with that.
All right. So, in our last moments, we know that you have been doing some public speaking with the other candidates. The district fair is coming up. Do you plan on attending that or have a booth set up?
Well, I plan on attending, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk to anybody. Now, I'll like Elwood yesterday. I'm gonna be floating. Yeah, I'll be floating. But I've been asked to help work a couple of booths. So while I'm at that booth, I can't really discuss what's going on with the city council race. Now, I don't know for the organizations and things I'm gonna be doing. I don't know if I can or cannot. That's another gray area, and I'd rather not. Hey, look me up on social media, or here's my number, contact me later, or I'll, take your number and contact you after the fact.
Well, are there any other events concerning the candidacy that you will be attending or be speaking at?
Well, any kind of public event, 9 times out of 10, I am there. Okay. Now, I might have my 3 kids, and Anna might be going crazy, but if you can keep pace with me, But I'm a floater. I'm all over town. Matter of fact, me and you were talking before the show about what I do in the mornings. After I drop Anna off at Valley View School, I will go to Craighead Forest, and me and Lucy does our walk for an hour. So you can catch me at Craighead Forest. Like I said, I'm a very open public person. So you'll see me all over town, and I'm waving, hi, how you doing? So.
All right, so if you're a person who likes to get out and walk early in the morning, go out to Craighead Forest. You get a chance to talk one-on-one with Miss Amanda and meet her dog. We want to thank you, Amanda, for joining us today. I'm sure that more questions will come through on the live feed. And
that's fine. They can find me on Facebook.
Okay.
It's Amanda Dunavant. You can also add me as a friend on my personal page.
Okay.
You can email me at my name, amandadunavant@outlook.com. Or, like I said, you can call me. My number is 870, or text me, 761-1749. And even if you feel it's a stupid question, I have rather you ask a question than not answer or ask the question at all.
Okay. And then before we go, I just want to encourage everyone, get to know who's running for what position and what board. Get to know the candidates so that you can make an informed decision. We can't tell you who to vote for, but we do encourage you to vote in November.
Yes, please do.
All right, so stay tuned for part 2, where we have Mr. John Street, who is the current council member for Ward 4, Position 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Are you feeling parent